Hello everybody, welcome back to Let's Play HOI4 Kaiserreich Romania. Let us continue on where we last left off. So, I would like to join your war. So now we're at war with you. So what are our plan? Well, first things first, we need to attack every single position here. Have our cavalry go here, and let's see if we can actually just march our way to Sofia. You guys are going to do something similar. Just attack, 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 attack. Well, these two guys are going to go to here. You're going to go to that port. And we'll see if we can just take over a bunch of territory pretty easily. Greece should hopefully be joining in the war soon. Greece has been called in. Fantastic. And we're actually doing pretty well. I'm guessing we have air superiority over Bulgaria, which is nice. And your guys' job, really, I'm actually going to force attack you right away. Because your job is not to actually kill these units, it's to make sure they don't do anything else. Now that we are at war, we stand soldier to soldier with Serbia. Okay, that's fine. And let's see if we can actually make you go to here. We've at least cut you guys off. Which I think is pretty good for us. How long would you get there? It's going to take you 1 day. I feel like this is, we're already doing pretty well. Greece has already lost Thessalonica, which is kind of embarrassing for them. And I'm sure we're going to be taking a lot of casualties in this initial push. We do lose some power if we don't get this in 62 days, but we are at war with Albania. Okay. Let's get war propaganda. We also have 180 political power, so we can probably go straight up to war economy, which is awesome. Do you want us to take over this area in 2 months? Get one of you guys to go to here. But 61. Because once you're in this province, you're going to be attacking in. And then I can do my original plan, which is going back to Sofia. The Ottomans haven't been doing anything quite yet. We'll get you back here because I know you're wanting to move your units through. Problem is that this is, completely just full of rivers. We have taken Sofia. Let's take your other city now as well. You're at 31%. We need to get you down to 5. You have annexed a bunch of territory off of them. Go here. Here's my plan. You're already moving into this province, which is unfortunate. You're going to be there in 1 day. You're going to be gone in 1 hour. So we might as well kind of get a pseudo encirclement going, even though it's not going to be like that fantastic. Okay, so let's push you here. Bulgaria surrendered. Well, you know what? That worked out pretty well. So the war is over immediately. Okay, well, that's one war done. Move our troops back home. What did we get? We got 2 civilian factories, 1 military. So we got 4 civilian factories and 1 military factory out of it. I honestly think that's the bigger point of the war, was getting that to work. A division attack up a little bit here. And Romania, standing pretty powerful, I would say. You're not a puppet. Albania, they're lucky they didn't get annexed. I'll put it that way. We got factory Effort 1. Is there anything we can do here? No, we're not allowed to switch alliances quite yet. We're going to put our troops onto the Hungarian border. Get factory Effort 2. And yeah, no, that was just a breeze. Not really anything to worry about at all. We'll prepare an invasion into this territory. So we haven't done maneuvers in the Carpathians yet, right? No. No, we did. We did this one. We haven't claimed Transylvania. Someone's taking control over Bulgaria. They don't really matter too much. I honestly don't think Bulgaria is going to matter really much at all in the future. Like, they still have a lot of men, for sure. I mean, I guess I could still go Syndicalists. I'm not too sure how the Syndicalists really work in Bulgaria. But I feel like we did basically as well as we could have done. We'll lose. Okay, we're no longer considered a major power. Unfortunate. But what can you do? Max entrenchment. Artillery attack plus 10%. That's pretty good because it will, and we're at defense. You know what? We'll go for that. Because we already have, our main general has a plus 20% already. So going up to plus 30, I would appreciate that. And then, yeah, you're already core territory. So we're not dealing with any occupational issues. So, you know, that went, yeah, no, basically as good as it could have gone. Like, I don't know what we could have asked for to go better there. We don't have any steel. Why do we not have any steel? Oh, yeah, because the United States doesn't, like, exist anymore, really. So I guess we'll trade with the Russians here. We now have 6 whole factories. We are swimming in industry right now, which is, you know, great for us. Let's put a handful of divisions here. I think we need 4 for that to be full. And we'll put 2 units onto this front as well. Because we can't trust that we're always going to be in, that's just some military factories for free. I think we're going to double our tank production for now. So we're missing 1.7 thousand. It's going to take us about 10 years to get all those tanks that we need. But, you know, I'm sure we'll eventually kind of get what we need. Eventually. Missing 1.7 thousand rifles, mostly for reinforcements, not a huge surprise. I don't know how many men we lost. 19,000 men. I honestly don't think that's that bad. We probably could have done it a little bit cheaper. But 19,000 men, we didn't lose really too much at all. Mexico's declared war on Yucatan. Does that mean Mexico, I think, has got a national populace then? No. They're in the Entente. They're just, They're in the Entente? Okay. A little bit strange, but that is a-okay. You've also won the Last Order, even though you haven't defeated the Finns quite yet. So I feel like Russia, you're kind of spreading yourself out a little bit too thin there. Yeah, and you do have the Moscow Accord. I'm not too sure when we can actually join up with the Russians. Because again, like I think we do. I mean, do we want to be allied to Russia? Because every single campaign recently, Russia's kind of been garbage. So I'm not too sure if they actually are the best choice. 1937 still. Excavation 1, I don't think we want. Let's at least upgrade our tanks. I mean, how much do these tanks cost? We're using Wildkrieg era tanks. You are worth 8. You're 1 more. Okay, so it's not that much more expensive. The worst part, of course, is that it's going to reset our production efficiency. But you know what can you do about that? Can I upgrade any of you guys as well? Still you, but you only can be charismatic, which I don't care about that much. Russia's doing pretty well here. They did get one of their own troops around it, so, you know, congratulations to you. Doing fantastic work there. Once you're done. The bonus to industry isn't too bad. The extra research slot could be meaningful, but I think we're probably going to go for new infantry weapons next. And then probably claim Transylvania, nationalize the oil industry. And after that point... Have I avoided the monarchists yet? No, the Civil War still has not technically been avoided. I don't know what we're missing. We might need to nationalize the oil industry, maybe. Okay, everybody's at war with the Ottoman Empire, which is not a huge surprise. We can be ready in 9 days. Can't see German assets because they're not at war with Germany, or not war with France. Nationalize the oil industry. It is after 1938. No, it's almost after 1938, so we could probably nationalize you soon. Which hopefully will probably give us a handful of factories if I had to take a guess. Do you know what? The infantry weapons would be nice, but we're actually going to claim Transnistria first. Or Transylvania, not Transnistria. And for now, We have one factory. What do we need more of? Honestly, probably just tanks. Just more and more tanks. We don't have another bonus to use, so I'm not going to waste my time quite yet. We could train you up. Yeah, so let's do some training so you're at least up to experienced. Night vision, probably a little bit too ahead of time for us. We have a bonus here. What is the bonus for? The fuel silo, I understand how that could be useful. Our max is 5, like, we just don't need it. Like, we're never going to be losing more oil than we're gaining. At least until we maybe get, like, a decent amount of tanks out on the field. At that point, maybe. You know, let's go for battlefield support. Let's go for an air doctrine for now. Get our troops up and experienced. Galicia and Lodomira are definitely looking like they'd be the easiest ones to attack in the hypothetical event of an Austrian war. Saudi Arabia, again, they're in the Cairo Pact, but like I think, well, it was like the last campaign, they just refused to actually ever join in the war. Finland has capitulated. Will Russia keep them annexed, or are they going to release them as a puppet? It seems like they're going to be releasing them as a puppet state. There we go. You're also markedly liberal now. You're no longer social democratic. Last Ordo will be annexed sooner rather than later, and then Turkestan soon to follow. I don't know what they're going to be planning to do with the Don-Kuban Union, because they could join the Reichspakt, which of course is a major thorn in Russia's side. I think we're only claiming... We're claiming like a handful of territory. I think we're claiming like all of this. But I think Banat... No, Western Banat has a claim from Serbia, so we can probably claim Eastern Banat, or as regular Banat. Have a nice chunk of territory here, a nice chunk of territory there. You know, why not, you know, annex all of Hungary? If we theoretically ever get the opportunity to do so. No, because you are social democratic. I don't think you're going to go syndicalist. You know, you're the democratic mandate, so it looks like you're just going to do, probably join with the Entente, if I had to take a guess, if you don't just stay, neutral to begin with. Also, like, what is this? This is just a complete disaster. I'm not even too sure who's winning, because it's such a... I guess the Baltic Duchy is technically winning, even though it's... just looks gross. Okay, we do another military factory, and what we're going to do, I think we're still just going to be pumping that into military factories, or into tanks, I should say. Good, go for more trade. Let's trade a little bit more steel with the Russians. Get that going, so we have enough to produce our tank units. How close are you to being done? One tank. You are at 100, so you're basically about a quarter of the way to being able to be deployed. Which isn't nothing. Movement, attack. I mean, I could probably... I mean, 4 kilometers, you'd be slower, but you might throw like a handful of infantry in here, I guess. HP goes up by a lot. Organization goes up a significant amount. Suppression. You do lose a little bit of armor, you lose a little bit of piercing. But everything else does go up. Then you also do remove some of these penalties for forests, for mountains. Yeah, we'll save that as is. I think it's okay. So New York City has fallen to the federal government. I'm surprised the federal government even still exists. You're doing a long war. The bite and hold tactics. Is that a bear? It looks more like a weird groundhog or like a beaver. Guys, you do what you need to do. It looks like Argentina, I think, is winning their war against Chile. Middle Africa is doing pretty okay with their war against Portugal, even though I guess Portugal is kind of pushing our way down into Namibia. What are you guys doing? You're at war with... You're at war with the Qing. Okay, so the Qing's already at war with you. Which probably means the Federating government's going to be pushing their way down south sooner rather than later. Baltic Duchy, Yeah, they look like they are going to be winning their war. Defense plus 10 isn't too bad. You're no longer ahead of time, and I want to be using my upgrades for you. Or using my research slot for you first, and then getting our 100% upgrade to utilize on the stuff that's, you know, considered ahead of time. Okay, Bharati Commune is now at war with the Dominion of India. Are they also at war? They're at war with Nepal, but just kind of like in a separate war in and of itself. We do have 150 political power. What do we need? I guess we go for light tanks for right now. It's you know, it's what we're making. And you should retroactively actually have, yeah, the thing here, which is more breakthrough, more speed. You go 11 kilometers an hour, which is significantly faster than yeah, you go 11 kilometers, you go 13, you go 15 kilometers an hour. You guys go 11, you go 4. Okay. So, I mean, the light tanks can be pretty fast. But, I mean, they're slowed down significantly by having the infantry within them. But I think that's it's okay. It's okay. Fuel capacity is 288. Fuel usage is at 6. But I think is it 6 per tank? No, I don't think so, actually. I think it's probably 1 per tank. I think it's 6 for the entire division. But they might end up costing more for the better tanks. Like, fuel usage is at 1, your fuel usage is at 2.4, so yeah, it's like more than double. And are you guys are all experienced, so there's no reason to be training you guys up anymore. We didn't even get, like... I was doing that so we get up to 100 army experience, but we didn't even get close. We might not have been actually training up at all anymore. Or getting any more points because they weren't getting more experience. Right now, you're all looking pretty good, I would say. 18 divisions. I mean, Hungary might have more troops than the Austrians do. They probably do. So Austria is actually not the biggest threat. It's Hungary. Especially since we will be attacking through the mountains, which is usually not great. Actually, this makes significantly more sense. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Only half of you need to be defending this. Because if this is... I mean, it's forest. But we're not going to be able to push our way through these mountains that are also very well defended. That's just not going to happen. It might even be worth it to actually put some military forts along the border here. Throw you to the bottom for now. Just the even level 1s, I think, are still going to be okay for us. Because I think our plan is going to be completely push our way through Galicia and Lodimira, because that's just going to be the easier place to invade through. Everywhere else is essentially just hold the line. Which I think is okay. Hold the line, push through Galicia. I feel like that's a reasonable strategy for us. What about Ukraine? You're doing Grand Coronation, so you have stayed as a king. You got a band OUN. Discredit moderate republicanism. Okay. Not too worried about that. You've joined the Revolutionary Front. So what's happening in South America then? Are you... It looks like you probably are going to end up joining with the... become one faction. Probably going to get killed by the Entente when the Second Weltkrieg begins. But, you know, that is what it is. Assassination attempt. Assassin tried to kill our great leader today. Luckily, his bodyguards intervened in time, and he was unharmed. The assassination was killed in an exchange, but sadly, nothing on him allowed us to identify him. Either a foreign agent, lone madman, or it must have been a monarchist. I mean, it's interesting. I'm not going to click foreign agent, because I don't think that helps us at all. Must be a monarchist? I'm going to say... I'm going to save the game because we can be a little bit cowards in the future if we need to be, depending on how quickly this backfires. I'm going to say that was a monarchist. And then we can maybe crack down on those guys a little bit. And again, I'm just kind of hoping we don't like, in the end, the Civil War has not been avoided. It's still completely viable that a war breaks out, which would not be great. I do think violence against suspected monarchists. News that Cordo's attack has been reported. A supporter of the old regime has spread like wildfire. Paramilitary Iron Guard groups have begun attacking all known and or suspected to have ties with the former king or supporters, as well as setting some old scores to the process. Prime Minister A.C. Quez is reportedly very upset about this turn of events. Nothing is worse than the traitors. I'm sure this might end up backfiring. But if we just kill them all... So I'm assuming the traitor must be stopped. The Prime Minister has spoken out against the indiscriminate violence perpetrated by paramilitary groups affiliated with the party, and even had the audacity to call for those responsible to be brought before justice. How dare you? I'm in charge here. You're not in charge of anything. I've won the war against Bulgaria. Oh, we just execute him. Political power minus 20. Okay, so he's been executed. That hasn't avoided the Civil War, which it's still, still definitely risky. The federal government has collapsed, which is not a huge surprise. And they are, yeah, basically completely dead. CSA is like taking a lot of territory from them. We'll see how that goes for the future. You guys have any bonuses? The answer is no, I can't upgrade you, at least not right now. If you're gonna have a civil war, just do it. Just fire the event and let's get it over with. We don't need all this little you know, maybe not. Just do it. Let's fire the event. I'm guessing this will just get bypassed, so there's no reason to have the... Can I declare war against Romania? I'm guessing these will just bypass then, because it makes no... Like, we've already done this. Conquer Transylvania. We can actually only do that for the faction leader or not in a faction. Okay, I guess I should have read that part in the description of the event. We can also go for you as well. Similar fuel usage. We might as well get this done faster. Okay, everybody's gonna be mad at us if we nationalize the oil industry, but you know what? They dare say doesn't matter. It does. Nothing they say impacts my thought process here. Unless, of course, it leads to a civil war, in which case, then it might have been a mistake, but we'll see. We'll see. You have 10 more days left on you. I guess after this... Not a faction or faction leader. I don't know if there's even a way to be a faction leader as Romania. I don't think there's a faction you can form. At least not that I've ever seen. So... Yeah, I mean, that really does change our plans a lot. Mostly because we cannot just use Germany to... I mean, we could just justify a war goal. To kind of accomplish the same thing. Okay, Guatemala's been annexed. Not a huge surprise. We've bypassed this. We've nationalized the oil industry. So I guess right now we're just going to go for new infantry weapons. Everybody's probably going to be a little bit mad at us that we now nationalized the oil industry. Does that give us... I mean, that's giving us more oil. And I actually don't know if it's really done anything for us. I mean, Germany's a little bit mad at us for seizing our oil fields. Apparently, I like them, though. Similar ideology. But you have gone for paternal autocrats. So you've kind of clamped down on the whole democracy business, which, you know, we can agree with. Going back against Bulgaria, which they didn't like. Seize our assets, which they also don't like. But I do think for right now, this is going to be a good time for us to end this episode. Thank you for watching my second. If you enjoyed, my thumbs up. Not enjoyed, you can always thumb down. If you want to see more, subscribe, and goodbye.